Welcome to the tale of the Ashen Omen. This is a story that follows two pirate captains upon a revered ship that sailed the Sea of Thieves. The way this will work is there are 5 chapters in this sort of audiobook. After each chapter, pause, and there will be an envelope that corresponds with it. The envelope will contain pages that you can add to your tall tale book. Please, I'm sorry. In reality, if you really don't want to, you don't have to listen through all of this. You can just skip right to the envelopes and put them in the book and everything. But I would really like it if you listen to the story and stuff. If you don't want to, you don't have to, though. It is completely up to you. But after each chapter, there will be a pause where you can pause and then put the pages, which there can be one, there could be many, into your tall tale book, which is kind of like a binder. So, yeah. If you haven't read what's already in your tall tale book, I advise you pause this really quick and you go and, you read it really quick. You read, no, not really quick, but you read through it. Just make sure. Side note, uh, this and the tall tale book aren't the same. There are differences and stuff, and it's not the same story. It is a separate thing, kind of. Anyways, love you, Mouse. I hope you enjoy. Hey, so this is after I've gone through and recorded everything. I'm going to apologize in advance and put this right after the intro. I'm really bad at talking, and I stutter a lot during these, and it hit a point where I couldn't keep, doing them over and over again. And I needed to get done with them so I could work on the other parts. I apologize for, stutters and, going back and rereading them and all that. I'm not professional or anything, so... Anyways, I love you. Please enjoy. Chapter 1. Sharpbait Cove. Despite the numerous outposts and seaposts, Captain Carnage's home was on Sharpbait Cove. On many days, he would just sit on the rocks, watching the sharks swarm to the fish he had thrown into the water. Always being fascinated with these creatures, one day he decided to swim with them. But avast, he smelled of chum, and they attacked him. But instead of fighting them, he let them take 2 of his limbs. He just let them devour his hand and his leg, and accepted his fate. He lay there in the water, stiff as a board. But then, he awoke again, on the beaches of Sharkbait Cove, with a note from the ferryman of the damned. The letter read, "The sharks appreciated the meal and bargained for your return to the world and the sea. But you see, you had nothing I wanted. So they forfeited their freedom to me, and thus I turn it to you. They follow you now. Make use of their wills, and assist your new partner in achieving what I need done." After reading the letter, he noticed another pirate on the beach, one legendary Captain Quickfire of the Shadow Siege. Instead of taking revenge upon these creatures, he began a quest. A quest hunting down the Skeleton Lords for Captain Quickfire, and as his own project, Shark Hunters. He quickly became known as the King of the Sharks, atop the blood-stained Omen, a ship that trails an army of these creatures not far behind, ready to strike true on anyone who wrongs those of the Omen. A shark hunter's worst nightmare. Chapter 2. Smuggler's Bay. Here, Captain Quickfire had his own crew that he trained and took across the seas that became a fearsome crew that all knew of. The crew aboard the Shadow Siege. The siege was strong and mighty, and those aboard it were known for their speedy ability to sink and plunder other ships. But one day, they crossed the wrong ship. The crew aboard the Serpent Scale, who had an entire alliance to back them up. The Shadow Siege was no match, and they were sunk just off the coast of the Kraken Watchtower. Captain Quickfire miraculously made it to the watchtower, but was struck down by skeletons upon hitting the beach. Seemingly moments later, he awoke next to another pirate, whose name was unknown to him. This pirate seemed to have gotten into a fight or two with some sharks. A letter lay next to the captain, written by the ferryman. Now, the captain of the Shadow Siege, the one who has sent so many tortured souls to the ferry of the damned. Now, I have your crew, and your ship. You need to earn them back if you want it. Fight off the skeleton lords and their children. You'll have the help of Captain Carnage, the Abandoned. Newly appointed King of the Sharks. Don't worry, I have provided you with a new ship, the Bloodstained Omen. Shows you're on a warpath and out for revenge. Don't wait too long to enact our deal. Chapter 3. The Skeleton Lords. After 2 months of sailing together, Captain Carnage and Captain Quickfire had become quite close friends, and are now finally beginning to hunt down the Skeleton Lords along with the pieces of the Shroudbreaker. Briggsy was their first target. She and her crew proved not to be so big of an issue. Carnage has a slight obsession with shiny things, which was the reasoning behind the massive collection of notes and bottles they had made up and were piling up on their ship. So he took Briggsy's hat. It had lots of shiny metals and precious gemstones. He literally couldn't resist it. Next up was Captain Greymarrow. He was a formidable opponent for Carnage, but Captain Quickfire managed to beat him without breaking a sweat. Before they took to the seas and moved to the shores of Gold, they went to go and explore the wreck of the Ashen Dragon. There they discovered the spirit of Captain Pendragon, a nice friendly fellow who assisted them in hunting down the traitorous Stitcher Jim. But something they weren't prepared for happened. They reawoke the monstrous Captain Flameheart, the one who led Jim down a dark path. While trying to assist Pendragon in getting his old crew back from Stitcher Jim and his chest of rage, it overheated and exploded. Both Captain Carnage and Captain Quickfire awoke with a flame in their hearts. They had been cursed. Their chests burned a bright orange. Many scars were scorching to the touch. After finishing the quest, they stepped onto their ship, and the curse spread. The cannons wrapped in a crystal that took form of a dragon, pulsing with the fire of the ship. The ornamental metals Carnage had put on their wheel and capstan melted off. The previously warm glow of the lanterns turned to a vicious, searing red flame. And thus, the now cursed co-captains of the ship now known as the Ashen Omen took to the seas, with the sharks trailing behind them. Chapter 4. The Reaper's Hideout. Shortly after the curse set in, a new company to the Sea of Thieves popped up on the Reaper's Hideout. They called themselves the Reaper Bones. Their leader, the Servant to the Flame, offered our captains a place in their company as enforcers of the true pirate ways. Carnage didn't have any opinion in the matter, but when they offered vengeance to Captain Quickfire, saying they knew where the Serpent's Scale was located, they quickly became emissaries for the Reapers. Upon finding the scale, they realized that they had already been killed. They were now just a cursed skeleton ship, but nonetheless, Quickfire sunk them. They then returned to the hideout to present the Serpent's Alliance flag. Satisfied, the Serpent presented them with gifts, knowledge on where the rest of the Serpent's Alliance was, and 2 pets, cursed creations of the Reapers. A cursed parakeet for Carnage, who donned the name of Worm, and for Captain Quickfire, a cursed capuchin, whose name Finley. Worm had a red flame of his own, and from then on served as a warning sign that the Ashen Omen was approaching. Worm would fly ahead and spot ships, and when flying over the ship, would make their lanterns glow hotter in a deep red matching the omens. In the following moments, a deep fog would roll in, and the omen would burn another ship into their ledger, into the bottom of the sea. Chapter 5. The Final Voyage. After completing the work for the Reapers, our two captains decided it was finally time for them to hunt down the gold hoarder. But first, they'd have to make it to the Reapers' hideout, to take their final leaves and their final earnings from the bones. The servant made it known that he thought it was a very bad choice for the captains to leave his company, but they stuck with it. Next, they sailed to the Devil's Roar to collect the completed shroud breaker, which they'd need to get through the Red Sea, otherwise known as the Shroud. The Shroud was oceans of blood red surrounding the Sea of Thieves and the shores of gold. It was going to be their first massive obstacle in getting there. When heading northeast from Morrow's Peak towards the shores, some hunters were sent after them. It was the Reapers' way of saying they made the wrong choice. The ships that attacked hit hard, especially with the 6-to-1 advantage, but the Omen was a fast-built ship that, no matter what, stood strong and held fast. Plus, Carnage and Quickfire had one massive advantage, something to protect themselves from the dangers of the Shroud. 3 ships pulled away, but 3 they knew held steady on the course. Fog closed around them, and Captain Carnage's heart sank as he realized the sharks couldn't follow him into the Shroud. They kept sailing for a long time under cannon fire, the Omen now struggling to trudge forward, both captains frantically repairing to ensure that they didn't sink, when worms started cawing, notifying doom. But Carnage and Quickfire didn't understand. They felt cannon fire from their deck, something that shouldn't have been possible due to neither of them being up there to fire the cannons. When they rush to sea, they now see 4 skeletons on deck, 3 manning cannons, 1 keeping the ship on course. Carnage was obviously taken aback by this, but despite being piles of bones, Captain Quickfire could always recognize his crew. The skeleton at the helm moved towards Carnage, took the plank of wood from his hands, and said, "Take the wheel, Captain. I'll handle repairs." One left the cannons it was mounting, and went to Captain Quickfire, and he quickly exclaimed, "You better take the captain's cap. I was always better below deck anyways." It was Samuel, the youngest of the old Shadow Siege. The Shroud was viciously tearing apart the 3 ships who dared to follow the Ashen Omen into the Shroud. Fools who claimed the reward was worth the danger of the Shroud. Next to Captain Carnage, the Shroud breaker glowed a bright red matching the waters around them. The 3 ships stopped firing. The Shroud had torn them apart. Some sort of energy formed around the Omen as the new crew cheered. They succeeded. The shores of gold could now be seen, but the sad fact of the matter was the ship was in very bad shape to make the trip back. As they came slowly closer to the island, the ship sunk farther and farther until the crew had to abandon ship. Captains Carnage and Quickfire looked over their ship, Worm perched on Carnage's shoulder, and Finley sitting in Quickfire's hat. Before attempting to do what they had come to do, Carnage scribbled some last things into a book and went into the water, hoping at least one of his friends was near. After waiting around 10 minutes, a fin broke the water and swam up to Carnage. Carnage pet it. He then set the book in his mouth, and he put a necklace on its fin, something to note what shark he had put it in. Without acknowledging what he had just done, he went through the steps they'd need to do in order to make it to the gold hoarder. In the following 3 days, they completed all the puzzles to get the gold hoarder's key, which then led them to weave their way through the difficult caverns and fight waves of skeletons before finally lowering the bridge to fight the final skeleton lord on their list. They entered his room, and the gold hoarder saw them immediately. He rose from his throne at an alarming rate, trudged through mountains of gold. They were extremely overwhelmed. He attacked at speeds that shouldn't have been possible for someone of his size. He landed a fatal wound on Carnage, and as Quickfire turned to see if he was okay, the Gold Hoarder put a bullet in the distracted captain's back. 3 of the skeletons started dragging both of their old and new captains out of the Gold Hoarder's lair, while Quickfire's old first mate fought and defended their escape, and sacrificed his second chance. The 2 captains were dragged all the way out onto the beach and propped up against a tree. Neither had any life force back. They both died on that beach, but they died together, as friends. Samuel, Mobus, and David stayed with their captains until they ran out of life force as well. Well, except for Samuel. Samuel had the youngest soul, and for years he wandered the shores until one day the shark Carnage scent returned. Samuel climbed into the mouth of the shark, and it brought him all the way back to Sharktooth Key, where 2 pirates waited. That would be me and my wife. My name? I'm Mason, and my wife is Melissa. I'm just an artist who painted some things for Emil. He and Liam would often bring us things from outposts, as well as some gold, so I felt it was only right for me to share their story and to tell it. So thank you for listening. Samuel brought back their skulls, and I was going to give them to the Order, but I couldn't just give them up. So they rest on my ship. Anyways, again, thank you for listening to their tale. They should have been here today to tell it, and to help disband the Reapers, but that's okay. Anyways, I gotta go now. It looks like you do too. Wait, I didn't quite catch your name. Sourdough the Lost. Ah, well, Sourdough, I'll see you on the seas. Okay, so that was the ending. If you needed a fucking cube thing making noise. If you need a quick synopsis, basically what it was, which I tried to do in the end, but like I'm not great at writing and shit, so it didn't quite come out from the beginning. I wanted it to be like a quest giver type thing. And originally it was supposed to be, YouTube videos where I'm going around and I'm like digging things up and being like, oh, envelope, time to open the envelope. But it didn't work out like that. Sorry, that might have been a lot more fun than just listening to me talk. But anyways, so basically you're this sailor that I accidentally, actually before I even started this project, I made up because I always thought it was funny for me because this guy is like Sourdough the Lost and nobody likes him and stuff. Yeah, I don't know, sorry. But yeah. So I realized that after recording this, and this is like, I hate to admit this, but this is like a month and a half after I recorded everything else. Not just this, but also the last chapter, because I wrote a lot more for the last chapter, and I realized there's some things that maybe didn't make sense for most part. The skeletons, the ex-crew of the Shadow Siege, which was your pirate's ship before the Ashen Omen and meeting my pirate. So basically, the names on the in the last little bit were Samuel, Mobus, and David. There was also what was his name? Hold on, I'm looking. I didn't say his name, and I don't know why I didn't, because it was dumb for me not to. Oh, yeah. Okay, so your crew consisted of James, who was the first mate, Samuel, Mobus, and David. Okay, yeah. So that was Captain Quickfire's old crew, and I know at the ending I brought up some names that might not be familiar, and that's because I couldn't just call our characters like Captain Quickfire and stuff like that. Even though I did throughout the entire thing, and I didn't come up with names until this chapter. I don't know why I keep calling it that, but yeah. Anyways, so the name I came up for your pirate was Captain Liam Quickfire, like title, Kareen. And then my pirate was Captain Emil Carnage Hood. Yeah. It's really dumb, but I had fun making this like story up and everything, and yeah. So now, if you haven't already opened the final voyage, I think that's what it's called. The final. It's the last. Oops. Yeah, the last voyage envelope. You can do that. There are a few more pages with it and stuff. But one of the pages isn't like officially a part of the like story stuff. It's more of a note for you that I'm gonna like tell you what it is now. So it is a what is it? So all of this was a lot of fun, I hope, for you, but now that you've made it to the end, I think it's time for you to come over to my house and get your real present, the other part that I worked a lot on. Yeah, it was supposed to be like a Sea of Thieves, you do the tall tale and you get rewards for it, like stuff like that. And originally, I was supposed to have this done a month or so ago, but like not all of the actual present pieces are here, and in 2 days it's our 1 year from when I'm recording this. At least I don't know when you'll hear it, because I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna get this to you in time, which I'm sorry about. I think you'll probably be getting this on your birthday or so, but yeah, it's May 1st, and this was supposed to be done like a month ago, but I just got the Tall Tale book, and I've done like very little work on it. Yeah, I've been slacking a lot, but I've been doing all the planning and stuff, which you'll see. Anyways, so yeah, I should have asked your brother, if I remember that, because I'm pretty sure I'm getting this to you for your birthday, so I should have asked your brother, hopefully by the time, your birthday rolls around, to swing you over to my house so I can give you your real present. And, yeah, if you're coming over, I'll see you soon, and I love you, and happy 1 year anniversary. It's so, I know it's not gonna be your birthday, or it's gonna be your birthday, so I don't, happy birthday, I love you, and I'm so happy that, I have you in my life and stuff, and yeah, coolio, I love you, mouse, bye-bye. Heyo, you thought you were done with me, not yet. So my dumbass has been slacking again, and it is currently, June 4th, and, I've been slacking again, and I realized, I was like, uh-oh, I have to record the voice lines for this, or I have to record the voice tracks. And I had forgotten I had already done it. So, I'm just now finishing up editing. I'm gonna throw this part in after the afterwards. I thought you were done. You weren't. Sorry. I still haven't checked in with your brother. I really need to do that. But yeah. So yeah. So as you know, it's definitely for your birthday. And you saw the Tall Tale book like 2 days ago now. It was on June 2nd, and well, as I had said, I've been slacking again, which is really bad. And now I'm rushing. I'm like currently rushing to finish it. So yeah, um, I've got about half the pages done now. It's been 2 days, and they've all been done today. So I apologize if they're really sloppy or anything. But anyways, yeah. Now this is the final end. I hope I see you soon. I love you. Happy birthday. Yeah. Bye, Melly Mare. Melly Mare? Cause I'm gonna marry you. No. Sorry. Love you, Melly Bear.